Are you going to sit in with
Not at all.
No.
Right.
Oh, come on. We have to all join in.
Yeah.
You started first.
My brother over here. Come over here, brother Rex. Come sit with me.
Hey, Uncle Fresh, you're looking sharp. How's your? I was following your push-up challenge when you were doing it. So how's the training now?
Went to the wire. It's gone potatoes. I'm getting this. I don't look as good as you. You look lean, mean, and the ultimate.
Well, so when you have youth on your side, you.
No, once you get over 50, son, everything goes south.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
No, you don't want to look forward to it. Okay. Look, can you meet Joe? Joe, you know, when we take a quick break, you'll still be live.
Yeah.
And so you can do any shout outs to your family during the breaks as well as during the program. So, yeah. So we're on live now.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So you ready for so many questions? Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you meet
Oh, I can hear. Yeah.
You mean nice and loud. Okay. We ready to go? Yeah. Okay. Are we ready to go? Is it working? Hold on, I'm just turning off my phone.
Yeah, otherwise, bring.
Otherwise, Auntie Daphne will be calling me. Sharp. I've been watching some of those intense trainings you've been up to, Joe.
Was that, Uncle?
I've been watching all your secret trainings.
I'm in shape. I've been training hard.
Oh, I know.
It's the only way to be when you're preparing for what you already know, Uncle. You've been in the sports industry for a long time.
A long time ago. That's a long time ago. We ready to go, Lars? Okay, we're all ready to go, eh?
Yeah.
Give me the thumbs up, Lars. Hi, everybody. This is Inga here, and you're tuning to INSTA Radio. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Inga the Winger Sporting Hour here in Samoa with 87.5 FM INSTA Radio. And it's a beautiful day here in Apia Harbour. It's 26 degrees at this time of the morning. I've got a fantastic guest on my show this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you've had a fantastic weekend. We have in Samoa, we've honored our kids. Every once a year, we have what we call White Sunday. It's a Sunday we put aside here in Samoa to honor our children. Yes, we do love our children, and we honor them by celebrating Children's Sunday. And so it was obviously a lot of celebration. Kids get up in the churches and they say their memory verses from the Bible, and some get lollies and ice creams afterwards, but it's just a one big opportunity to enjoy our children and honor them on this particular Sunday. Well, joining me on my show, a very, very special guest. I call him my little son or my little nephew. And I have the privilege we've had many wonderful sporting stars on my show, but this one is very, very special. A lot of reasons, I'll explain it later. But he is the former WBO heavyweight world champion of the world, our very first Samoan heavyweight champion of the world. His name is Lupusole Ai. Rauli Alemani. This is chief titles that's been bestowed on him. Joseph Parker is in the studio. Good morning, son.
A very good morning to you, Uncle, and everyone listening.
So if you're joining us and if you're tuning in from all around the world on the globe, and this is on Facebook Live, it's my privilege to be able to host this young man, this fine young man that we're so proud of, and all his achievements. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but our first ever world heavyweight champion, and that's no mean feat. When you talk about the champions of sport, you talk about the Olympics, and then you think about the fastest man in the world, Usain Bolt. Then you talk about the world, the number one sportsman, and they often is referred to boxing, the heavyweight, not just any other category or any other weight category. You talk about the #1 heavyweight champion of the world. And yes, we were very privileged, and I'm sure Samoans all around the world had the privilege to be able to witness that live way back in 2016 when Joseph Parker won the heavyweight title, WBO. WBO, Joseph?
Yeah, WBO.
Heavyweight title. And what a wonderful experience that was with him and his family, surrounded by his family in Auckland. So, Joseph, we'll just call you Joseph on the show.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Easier.
You know, congratulations on all the accolades that you've have and achieved, all your achievements up to date. And we'll talk about that later on the show, but welcome.
Listen, it's good. It's good. Thanks for having me on, Uncle. Firstly, you're saying it's a beautiful day in Samoa. I miss Samoa. You know, it's usually throughout the year I'll have the opportunity in Maurevangoa come to Samoa 2 or 3 times a year, but with the lockdown and the borders being closed, it's very hard for me to sit here and you telling me how beautiful the day is. I just feel like I miss it there. I miss the family. I miss everyone. I just miss being in Samoa.
You're very right, Joseph. You are a very proud Samoan. Obviously, you got strong ties here, your mom and dad, and congratulations. Just a big shout out to your father, Dempsey. He just turned 60 the other day.
Yeah, 60.
So congratulations, Dempsey, and what a fine young man that he is, and obviously a proud father to see what you've achieved. Joe, you know, this fight, everyone's talking about it against Junior Father, New Zealand Tongan. You're the New Zealand Samoan. What does it mean to you? Because it's been a long time coming, isn't it?
It's been a long time coming, like you mentioned. And I think it's one of those fights that has been talked about for a long time. You know, as amateurs, we've had 4 fights and it's 2-2. But a lot has happened since the amateur days. You know, the game is a lot different in the professional game. As you know, Uncle, you've been in the ring many times yourself. Once or twice? Twice? Twice, see? So you know that what it takes to, you know, the fitness and the training and mental, you know, toughness you need to get in the ring. But this fight, it's been talked about for a long time. And, you know, it's the only fight that I can have at the moment with everything that's happening, the pandemic, travel restrictions. This is the only fight we can have. So we've made it a big one, and it's the one that I feel, you know, I'm going to prepare the best I can.
Well, we talk about preparation. You continue to train intensively, secretly. You've just gone about your business under this lockdown. And while everyone else is probably enjoying the time to be together with families and friends, you as a professional fighter yourself, you know what it takes and what is required to get in that ring. And no doubt, Junior Fa is also preparing. He wants to come on to this, to turn up on the night, you know, prepared. I see on the media around the world that it's built, you know, New Zealand's greatest ever fight. Now we had the Tua versus Cameron fight, and that was called the fight of the century. But I see this, and I agree with a lot of the pundits around the world, that this fight is really, really the biggest fight in New Zealand boxing history, simply because you both are in the top 10. You know, you're ranked number.
That's the reason. I think that's the reason why it is probably being said as the biggest fight in New Zealand history. But in saying that, the fight that David Tua had with Shane Cameron, the whole country pretty much nearly came to a standstill to watch that massive event, and that's still one of the biggest and best fights we've ever seen here so far.
Yes, for David it was. For Shane it wasn't.
Exactly.
For you two, I mean, I've had the privilege, if you're listening in from all around the globe, I had the privilege to watch these 2 young men battle it out.
Oh, you were there.
Yes, I probably saw 3 out of the 4 fights, and it just
because your sons were also fighting, and they were there too. And I think I did have a fight with Bubba once, and then you were always at the fight. So yeah, I remember.
But what was incredible was that here's 2 of you Polynesian men, one Tongan, one Samoan, born in New Zealand, proud as Tongans and Samoans, but you'll come up the ranks. One took a different path. You certainly took a different path with the Duco management and promotions, and Junior took a different path, right? But here are you 2 years later meeting up
again.
And you know, and I tell you what, the Tongan community, I was reading through the Matangi Tonga the other day, they are so excited to have a heavyweight in the, you know, one of their Tongans. So they'll be rooting for their Tongan brother. But, you know, tell me, your preparation, it has been intense, but at the same time, you look like you've enjoying yourself in the gym.
I think the best way to go about life or what you're doing in life is to have fun, and you got to have fun and laugh and enjoy. And it's not, training is hard, but when you're sort of down and when you're sort of too serious and too focused, I think that's sort of takes away of just enjoying the whole process of leading into a fight. So I have been training hard. I've been showing a few things. I've been keeping a few things back. And one thing I can say in honesty is that before the Dillian and Joshua fight, I was overweight and I had to lose weight in camp. Whereas now I'm in shape. I didn't put on too many kilos in the lockdown. I ate good food, galo now and then, hoka now and then, but mostly good food. So I'm in shape, and we got 8 weeks and a half until the fight.
It is being built as a fantastic show. And I hear, and I'm just talking to your manager, promoter, David Higgins from Duco Events. I mean, they've done an incredible job to get you where you're at. Not because it's so hard to get you up in those rankings. It's so hard to get you opportunities, especially when you're so isolated from the rest of the world. But so I think, credit's due. You got to give them their credit. They've done extremely well getting you and managing you. And that's not easy, because you are a full-time, you need full-time attention, your preparation.
Yeah, they've done a tremendous job. And I think if it wasn't for them and teaming up with them, I wouldn't be in this position, or I probably would have taken a different path, and who knows what would have happened. But I know you're very familiar with the game. You've managed a few fighters yourself, right, Uncle? And you've been involved in some careers, so you know exactly how it is to climb the ladder, what's involved, people. There's so many things and so many people involved in getting you to the top.
Joseph, thing for me, I'm very privileged and very humble, because I remember, for those who are listening and tuning in around the globe, I remember watching this young man, and I would put on my own amateur competition, boxing, and Joseph would be there either fighting or, now check this out,
Avondale.
Yes.
Was it you?
In Calston.
Yeah.
And Joseph would be, this is what it was like as an amateur. He was selling his chocolates to try and get funds to buy his boxing equipment. He'd be out there selling whatever, raffle tickets, Joseph?
Raffle tickets,
yes.
Cadbury chocolate.
Yes.
And to fun, it was, it was the amateur days. It is, and you experience this as well, because traveling around the world representing New Zealand, you have to fund yourself at times, and it's very hard. But in the professional game, it's a blessing to be able to earn money, look after your family, look after yourself, and then obviously the dream was to have a house, look after the parents, and it's come true.
And humble beginnings, because that's what it is, and I think you've been a wonderful example of success if you really want it and you're determined and you got this go-get attitude, because that's what you've shown. Joseph, you've never been short to be able to do the hard yards, and you've never been short to be able to look after the community. You work behind the scenes, and this is what a lot of people don't see, is the charity work that you also do. You give a lot of your time, energy, and also funds to help out. And I know you've been and I'll just give an example to our listeners. We launched a Samoan secondary schools boxing competition. You gave up your time. I asked you as a humble request to come over here and help launch it. You did. And because of that, Joseph, you came and made time, you and the minister, Lo'au, sports, yes. You both got together and you launched this high school boxing. And it was phenomenal, because out of that, in the Pacific Games just finished, and you were a big influence. We won. We won 7 gold medals and 1 bronze medal.
Okay. And is the program still going strong now?
Yes, we're still working with the minister, but I'm just going back. You're talking about 4 years ago, where you had a big influence in helping, encouraging these kids to believe in their God-given talent, and that's for those who listen, that's what Joseph, it's not just the boxer inside the ring, but it's what he does outside the ring. That's just, for me, apart from
what we do.
Apart from your good acting, you should consider your acting Hollywood skills. As we watched it in the lockdown, all these, where did that come from? Where did that idea come from?
The idea was to, obviously it's really hard finding other people find it hard for the lockdown. Some people find it mentally draining. Some people don't want to be stuck at home, and people are used to going out and catching up, and so we wanted to lift spirits and have some fun. And then from the first one, the reaction was so good. We're like, why don't we just carry on? And then now that we've finished the lockdown, I feel like if we have time and if another idea comes up, we'll still continue to do it because it's fun for me.
Joseph, you brought a lot of smiles to a lot of families, during that lockdown period, certainly in New Zealand. But I saw it went viral. I mean, you even had Michael Buffer involved. You had Tyson Fury. And so it was just wonderful. You brought a lot of smiles to our faces here in Samoa.
I think it was wonderful to come together and work together to make people smile. And everyone was having fun. And I think when we had fun, other people had fun. And people were smiling. So that was the, I mean, if you were smiling, laughing, Uncle, thank you. You're one of those people we were aiming to reach.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, my guest here in the studio with me is Joseph Parker, our former heavyweight champion of the world, fighting on December the 11th. We're going to take a short break. We'll come back and there's some shout outs. I'm sure Joseph wants to say a shout out to his family. So we're going to take a quick break and we'll come back because this is getting all heated in the studio. You right, Joe?
Yeah, good on. I want to shout out to my Stanza family. Shout out to the family in Faleula, my boy Luki.
The Stanza family.
The
Stanza family.
Yeah. Uncle,
name all your uncles, please.
Uncle Oscar, Uncle Junior, Uncle Jeff, and heaps of other uncles.
Did you contact them for the Pololo season? Because they just had on the weekend.
Yeah, my address. Do you want my address, Uncle, for you to send? Nah. Hey, when are you back in New Zealand? You just,
believe it or not, I actually, I fly out on November.
And how long are you here?
I'm there for Christmas, so I'm hoping to get to the fight.
Yeah, have you talked to David? No, not yet.
I have spoken to David.
Okay, send us an email. I'll talk to David and sort it out.
Oh, thank you, brother. Thank you so much. Now, these guys are all gone quiet in the studio. Lars and Tex and
the team.
They all wanted all these questions they want to ask you, but then they're all gone quiet.
A fair go.
He wants to look at you guys.
Oh, my.
Show your face.
Oh, my. Go for Inga.
When you are talking about this, we just want to listen.
No, come here. This is my man.
Hello, brother. Good morning. How are you?
Good.
Yeah.
Lars.
Looking sharp. Hey, hi.
This is
how many people in our office?
This is our studio.
As much as the social.
Lars make me sound good, and Lars makes me look good.
It's a hard work. It's a hard stuff.
I'm afraid I makeup ngayon.
No.
Natural, Uncle. Natural.
Big shout out to Lucky and Bex, wherever you are. No doubt you work so hard from Pure Pacific Water. Also Neil Steele Stevens, wherever you're hiding or around town or having a coffee at Coffee Roasters. Good morning to all you guys. Who else?
Oh, shout out to Etu, because he sent me some turmeric, but it's still held out in customs, so I have to clear that.
Not live. Did he live? Did he? Okay, wait.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Etu. Jordan, my son Jordan, who graduated with his university degree in sports science. Big shout out to you, Joseph.
He's in here. He's in New Zealand, right?
Yeah, and he's in Auckland.
I forgot. I texted him a while ago, and he was saying he was here studying.
Yeah, he finally finished his degree after 3-4 years at university. So
that's awesome. That's when you have a degree, you have and it's all worthwhile the study and the time.
Yeah, and my little granddaughter, Layla, who turned 9 as well. So it was her birthday. A lot of birthdays in September.
Hey,
yeah.
Who's Bubba?
Bubba's daughter. Yeah.
How many does Bubba have? 3, 4?
Yeah, 3 kids. He's got 2 boys. Biden, the boxer.
Yeah.
So he's looking forward to getting into the ring because, in New Zealand, they can't start boxing until they're 10. He's got 1 more year to go before he's allowed to box.
Is Bubba there or here?
No, Bubba's in Auckland. Bubba's a prisoner.
He's a unit. Bubba is a unit.
How are we going for time?
I remember the fight I had with him. I remember the fight that we had. It was an exhibition, but we when you start feeling someone out, and we start going it was,
and then you gave each other blood noses.
Yeah, we gave blood nose to each
And there
other.
was a
I
draw.
think exhibition. It's like exhibition.
No such thing as exhibition when two Samoans
Nah, because I felt
in the
he
ring.
was coming hard. We went hard to each other, and then we started.
In fact, Joseph, that was his first fight, and at the time you were the current heavyweight super.
I know. That was his. It was his first fight, and then he fought me. It was an exhibition, but then we both went hard. I was 3 rounds.
Okay, we ready to go? We're going live.
Yeah.
I said. This is right down your dancing ability, Joseph.
Yeah.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Inga the Winger Sporting Hour. I've got the wonderful Joseph Parker in the house with me, zooming, the WBO former heavyweight champion, our very first Samoan heavyweight champion of the world, Joseph Parker. If you're tuning from wherever you are, you know, it's wonderful to have you on here. We don't have a lot of time with Joseph, but we'll try to make as much opportunity as possible. Now, just a quick... just some questions. Jeff Guy, easy win for the Uso, JP, Joseph Parker. This is Jeff Guy. Next one is...
Thanks for your faith.
It's Wate Mona, S.O. Toko. So even they're all going for this. Shout out. S.O. Shout out. Yes. From Teresa Rivers. Hi, Joseph. So you got all these fans.
Hi. Say hi.
Yeah. And also... my special friend, my brother, J.R. Forkstar, is in the house somewhere on the other side of the island. It was his 50th birthday party yesterday.
Happy birthday, Jay.
And he's still recovering.
That's a good sign of a good 50th.
Okay. If you're tuning in, this is a time with Joseph Parker, or, you know, Lupusolo, the title that means so much for him being bestowed. Joseph, tell us about this fight. If you do well and you succeed, what's the next opportunity? Because I know you're desperate to fight for the world title again.
Yeah, you know, Uncle, I'm desperate to fight for the world title because I know the truth is I did fight for the world title before, but I feel like I'm a lot more focused now. I feel like back then, you know, obviously I did it because I wanted to be champion, but I feel like I did it more for my dad, and I did it more for, you know, everyone involved. But I feel like this time I'm actually a lot more driven to do it for myself, and I feel like I want to be 2-time world champion, and you know, and I'm going to fight. I'm not going to go past 35. So if I achieve it in that time frame, I'll be very happy. If I don't, that's, you know, it is what it is. But I want to fight Junior. I want to smash, like, you know, nicely. I want to smash him. Yeah. Then I want to fight. Yeah, then I want to fight Dillian White, and I want to smash him. And then I want to fight either Joshua Ruiz. I don't really care. I just want to fight the top 5 or 10 in the world.
You've never shied away from any challenge, Joseph. I've noticed right from the beginning, you're a diehard, you're a daredevil, you take opportunity, you take the risk. You know, and I say this with all due respect, you know, it wasn't easy to get back into the ring after you lost against Anthony Joshua, and you brought a fantastic performance. No one other person prior to you had taken Joshua all the way to 12 rounds. Not even the legendary Wadame Klitschko. So for you to you know, it is massive. The heavyweight is probably the best it's been for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And I know you're artist, but when you say I'm keen to fight anybody and everybody, you actually do mean it. You don't shy away. I've never heard you shy away. You just bring them on. I don't care who I want to fight. Just bring the best person. And that talks a lot about the way you were brought up. I mean, tell me about your parents. I mean, Dempsey's a character, but your lovely mother, because your mother's always been there. Tell me about her.
My parents, you know, dad, they're very good parents. They brought us up. We had a great upbringing. You know, loving parents who loved each other, also loved us. Spent a lot of time with us, activities and games, and, you know, family time. My mom is a very smart lady. She came from Samoa, didn't know how to speak English, so she studied hard. You know, she's got degrees in business and a few other things, counseling, and she's still studying now. So one thing that I really appreciate about my mom is that she continues to study, even though she's got all these degrees, but she always continues to want to learn. So, and they're always there supporting, just like, and that's the good thing, you know, when you have parents that support you, you know, you can't go wrong with whatever you do in life. You know, when you have your parents backing you, you're set.
You got a special bond there with your mom, because I know you never enter that ring unless you give your mom a kiss, and she's always at ringside ready to give you that hug and that kiss.
Yeah, because in the beginning, my mom used to be worried, but now she knows that I train out. I said to my mom, whatever happens in the ring, Marlo, or if you lose, it doesn't matter. You know, you just go in there and you give it your best, and you know, it's just a sport. So she's there, give me a kiss and a hug, and she goes, "Fat Marlosi," and then you know, I go into the ring and do my best.
Joseph, you say that you fought because that win against John Ruiz was because you wanted to do it for your dad, and that's the attitude of most Pacific Islanders. They do it because they want to do it for their family. They do it, but this time you want to do it for yourself. That speaks volume about your motivation, you know, because in that. I'm just looking at the WBA, WBO, WBC, IBF, and I see some of the incredible boxers that are coming. It's probably the toughest categories now. You know, the toughest group of fighters, because they can all win.
Yeah. Yes, like you said, it's sort of when Klitschko sort of took over, and then there's a time where it sort of died down a bit, and it wasn't a lot of interest. Now there's all these heavyweights involved, and you never know who can, you know, come and take another person or beat another person. So it's very balanced, and that's why we can make some big fights very soon.
The Dylan White Povetkin fight, we watched that here with my good friend Neil Stevens, if you're listening, and you know, Dylan White was winning. He was winning by a long way, but all it took was just one slip, one lack of concentration, and it was lights out.
And then gone.
Amazing, eh?
So in the heavyweight division, like you saw that in that fight, Uncle, one punch can change everything. So the focus has to be there 100% from round 1 to round 12. And you know, every fighter, no matter how experienced you are, you're always learning and you're always picking up new things. And sometimes there is a lapse in, you know, in focus, but you have to continue to focus.
Here's a question everyone wants to ask, because there's a special bond between you and Tyson Fury.
Oh yeah.
It comes across on the radio and TV. There's a special bond there. I mean, tell us about it, because you two are very close, eh? And I know he shouts for you, he supports you, he backs you. Even that fight when you fought his cousin.
His cousin, yeah.
And he was in the changing room partying with you.
After the fight, then we went and had a nice feed, and he came to my room and we hung out. He's always, I think he's always just respected our team. And I think in boxing, he's one of my closest friends. If I get a chance in the future, I want to invite him to Samoa. I said to him, I want to bring him here, take him around Australia, and then I want to take him to Samoa to show him where I live and come from.
Wow. Because it is a wonderful, you don't get that often in sports, well, certainly in the heavyweight division, where there's a lot of egos, right? When you hear these heavyweights, they're trash talking, they're putting each one down. Yeah. But you, I mean, every time, because I've seen the comments that Tyson Fury has mentioned about you, he backs you big time, and he's always supporting you.
There are a few times where he said, you know, Joseph Parker is a poor man's Tyson Fury, my style, and he does say, you know, a few things, sort of little digs here and there. But ultimately, you know, I can just text him or call him now, and he'll text me back. And there's always a lot of respect, you know. And for the Dillian White fight, we had a bet. You know, I don't usually bet, but I said I'll take Dillian. He picked Povetkin, and so I owe him some money when I see him again.
Look, my special guest is Joseph Parker, the former WBO heavyweight champion of the world. It's been just wonderful to be able to pick his brains, you know, pick what goes on that head of his, because a lot of people look at boxing as a dangerous sport, but he's a man who's young, he's intelligent, he's got the world at his feet, and we've had the privilege to be able just to hear him. We're going to take one more break, and we'll come back and we'll finish it off, because I know you're training, and you got to also face the world media for this upcoming fight. But before that, just a big shout out. This is a big thank you from Tutasi Schuster, which is Jay's other better half, much better half. You know, she said here, thank you for the birthday wishes. The birthday boy can't type right now. But he said, he said, Joe, our money's on you, my friend. So that's from Tutasi out
Thanks,
the other
Tutasi.
side of the island. Yeah.
I know, Tutasi, thanks for the message. But Jay, I know you're recovering, so just take your time. Have a rest.
We'll take a quick break and we'll come back with our final segment with Joe. And let's just, got any questions? Download our app on iSpy Radio 87.5 FM Samoa and just get all the latest update of our show. So we'll take a quick break and we'll come back with our last segment with Joe. Thanks, Joe. Sorry, brother. It's just getting all excited. We're getting all excited, brother.
That's all right.
So I'm hoping to get out.
Shoot him off in 5 minutes. I have to shoot off to the. No, but today we're going to go prepare the gym. We've got all these bags sent to the. Do you know a company called Drill Tech?
Yes, yes, I do know. They moved to Pakuranga. Okay.
So we got all this boxing gear sent there. So we want to go get it all ready for the camp.
The camp. Where's your camp?
It'll be there. There'll be some training out west. There'll be some here at home, and then just all over the place.
And Kevin Barry is back in New Zealand?
He's in quarantine at the moment. So I'm working this morning. I worked with a guy named Sean Hughes, and I got another strength coach, and then just punching a bag and keeping fit.
Wow.
You know, Uncle, 3 rounds, 3 minutes, right? 2 minutes.
Oh, mate, 3 minutes is like 30 minutes for me. You know, it's not a sport that I like to play, and I thank God I didn't take it as a career. I'll leave it to you, young fellas. I'm gonna go. Just started. Oh, okay. We can just quicken that up. Right? Can you quicken that up? Okay. Final one's coming up, Joe.
Yeah, all good, Uncle. And if you wanna,
here's the question.
Closer to the fight, you can just. If you want to do another one, we can easily do another one.
Yeah. Yep. It will be. Where's the questions here? Oh, okay. Sorry. Oh, here they are. All right. Yeah, I really said it. Okay, you ready to go?
And a 1, and a 2, and a 2.
And action. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Inga the Winger Sporting Hour. Our last segment is with the great Joseph Parker in the house, former heavyweight champion of the world, boxing. And it's my privilege to host him. And we've had a fantastic half an hour just listening to all the wisdom and knowledge that this young man has to offer, you know, and he's preparing for the big fight, the fight of the century, New Zealand's biggest ever fight. Why? Because both fighters are ranked in the top 10 in the world. So that's exciting. And from what I hear, it's pretty much sold out. I spoke to David last week and all the ringside tables are gone. You know, the second row is almost gone. So it's, you know, people are in for a massive treat. So Joseph in the house with me. It's just been wonderful talking to him. Joseph, what can you expect out of this fight? I mean, you're going into this as the favorite. What can you
I want to go into the fight as the favorite, but I don't see it that way. The way that I see it is that I'm going to treat Junior Fire as the champion. You know, he's the person that's in front of me, and I have to, in order to get past, to be champion of the world, I have to get past him, and I have to look good, I have to feel good, and I have to put on a good performance. So if I can't get past him, I have to re-evaluate my boxing career, and I have to see where I actually stand, you know. And I am driven and motivated, but this is the world champion fight to me.
Wow. You know, it just sounds, in the last half an hour or so, I just look at you, you're a totally different young man at the moment. You know, when
I first met you, I couldn't, you know, you asked me a question, I couldn't really answer properly. Now you can't stop me from talking.
No, but obviously this is down to your conditioning. I always say this to people, you cannot be mentally tough unless you're physically conditioned. And I think there's some truth in that. And no, it doesn't matter what sport you play, Joe. If you're not in condition physically, there's no way you'll be mentally strong. And you know this, and more so in boxing, because you don't play boxing. You don't run boxing. You fight. And it's just like that, your lights are on. And so, you know, you've got to, I remember Mark Hunt and Ray Seaford had a spell in boxing. They turned professional, they had a bit of boxing opportunities. And they said that they found boxing much harder than kickboxing because you've got to have the discipline to hold your hands up for 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah.
People don't realize that.
So you are right. When you're conditioned physically, it really helps the mental side of things because you back yourself and you know you're fit and strong and you're ready to go. So when you're physically in shape, you know, it helps tremendously.
So what's different? What's different now? Because you're so much full of confidence at the moment.
The difference now is that I actually train here at home. I don't muck around and I'm not blowing up and I'm not getting fat. I'm keeping in shape. And when I start camp, it's working on skills and techniques instead of losing weight, which is what I've been doing in the past. And it wasn't a good structure.
Joseph, the listeners, and I know boxing here in Samoa has taken off. It's one of the fastest growing sport. We see this by the numbers of young kids who are involved in boxing every Saturday. There's massive growth, and especially after the Pacific Games. You know, you were a big part of motivating these young boys, getting them to believe in themselves because talent is not enough. You know, I'm telling them, don't rely on your talent. When I was playing rugby back then, yeah, I relied on my talent. But today's modern professional sportsmen and women, it's all about the mental application. How important is that to you?
It's very important. You know, even if you have the talent, but if, you know, hard work beats talent. You know, you have to have the talent, you have to have the drive, hard work, motivation. You have to be motivated and driven, you know, and then all of that plays a big part and the mental toughness is a massive part as well. You know, no matter how fit and strong you are, if you're not mentally there, then, you know, it's not really the full package.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to have to cut it short because he's got to go to training, and plus he's got to face the world media very shortly about this big fight that's being announced.
We will be back. You
will be back. You come back on our show again.
Oh, yeah.
So for those who are listening, if you're in Auckland, you know, or in New Zealand, December the 11th at the
Spark Arena.
Yeah, get down there to support our brother Joseph Parker, who'll be fighting for the opportunity to get up to the ladder and hopefully once again be the 2-time world champion. So Joseph, thank you so much for any last words? Ooh, I think we've lost them.
Oh no, I'm back.
Okay. Any last words, Joseph, before we go?
Thank you for the support. Thank you for the love to everyone listening. And listen, I'm going to go out there and do my best, give it everything I have, and I will be 2-time world champion.
Listen to those.
Thank you for having me on.
Thank you so much, Joseph. We'll let you go because you got to run, and all the very, very best. And hopefully I'll get the opportunity to get out there and see you live in action. Aloha atu, from Manuel. Fasi for Joseph.
Aloha. Good day. Bye.
So here we are. We've had Joseph in the house, and it's a bit of like a whirlwind. A little cyclone just come into our studio, and away we go. So for those who haven't had the opportunity to hear Joseph speak, I do apologize, but the man has to run. What do we got here? Joseph Solova, what do you think about Fast Manager? I think when he said, your time is up. So Joseph can't answer that because he's not here. But sorry. What do you think? Don't be shy. Come over here. We're still live on Facebook. Come over here. Where is she? There she is. How did you think that interview with Joseph went?
Which one? Sorry. Totally paying attention.
You didn't pay attention. How about you, Chicks? Come on, brother.
Yeah, it was really interesting, you know, just listening to his story and like how you said how he fought his other fight for his dad, and now you know if he gets the opportunity to fight another big heavyweight fight.
Yes.
Himself.
Yes.
So just listening to you know to him, you know, this is the first time I've actually heard like a real personal interview. Most of the interviews I hear is on TV and so forth, but to actually sit here and listen to you and Joseph Parker talk, and it's really opened my eyes and my ears to what kind of person that he actually is, and
yes,
how determined and focused he is getting into this fight with Junior
He's very determined, isn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm really surprised. I probably haven't seen him this confident too. Like I said early on, he's done the hard yards. He's been training secretly and very intensively as well. So I'm hoping for big things, and I'm sorry to say, but it's gonna be an action-packed night.
And it's interesting too that his coach is actually in quarantine.
Yes.
And it's hard to train when you don't have your coach there. So, but he's still going through training. So, once Kevin Barry gets out quarantine, then
Yes. All business, eh?
it's all business.
For those who are listening in, to prepare for a fight, it's quite intense. I was fortunate and very blessed to be with David Tua in some of his fights, and I just watched the intensity just grow as closer to the time of the fight. Not just his own personality. It's very, the littlest thing will agitate them. So I learned to get out of his way very quickly. But everything starts to intensify. And then you realize these guys are in a different league. They're in a different mindset of their own. It's brilliant watching them behind the scenes, and I'm looking forward to, if I get the chance to be able to get there and just watch this whole thing pan out.
One question I wanted to ask, seeing that you've been there in that situation with Dave, when it's like just before the fight, do they like completely cut off the world from them? Like, do they just like no phone calls, no nothing, like just them and
Their little group,
like that?
yes.
Like even family and friends, they just.
But you'll be surprised. This guy here, he's the opposite. He loves to relax. He loves to play his music, and just dance around as he gets prepared. Obviously, the closer the time, the more intensified the training his focus is. But because I remember the fight that he was here, right? He fought that American. I mean, he brought the house down. But I remember because I was part of the show behind the scenes, getting our fighters ready. But every time I go, he had the boom box going. He was doing all the, I don't know, all those new modern dance crazy moves and all that. When you go but as nearer the time to fight, to walk out, everything changed. Everything changed, and the game is more mental than it is physical, eh? So it's interesting, but I've never seen him this relaxed and this focused. I think, like you said, he's doing it for himself now, not doing it for his dad or his family or friends. He's doing it for himself, and I think that speaks volume of where he's not willing to be happy of just being a former. He wants to be two-time. Very rare, very rarely you get that opportunity to fight for the title twice. I mean, you used to box in those days, didn't you? So, okay, what do we got here? We have got some. We say goodbye. Oh, we're gonna say goodbye. We're gonna go live or say goodbye on our live on Facebook. So thank you for tuning in. We're gonna carry on towards the end of our program, but just a big thank you to all our listeners and tuning in from all over the place. And we'll read all your best wishes to Joseph Parker. Send them through our app on Facebook, 87.5 FM iSpy Radio. How's that? The man. How long have we got?
Oh,
Are we still?